guys, we've had the sprint race for the Chinese Grand Prix, and what a race we got in the end. It was a race of attrition. Who could hold and manage them tyres? All full 19 laps of them. I mean, it did look like it was just 19 laps before you knew it were on lap 10, 12, 14, where some of the action started going. Lap 1, it was a mistake from Lando Norris, which cost him a lot in his race. Dropped 3 places, ran wide, didn't need to, lost 3 places, got in P9, and the story of his race was stuck behind Lance Stroll for far too long, cooked his tyres. Then we got lap 8, where it was the top 3 all within DRS. Max Verstappen closing in on Lewis Hamilton, who drove the first 8 laps brilliantly well, just kept him out of the DRS crucially, doesn't he, for the first 7 laps, down into turn 14 where we thought all the action would happen. Lap 8 where Max Verstappen probably got the closest in DRS. Lewis Hamilton was struggling for graining in that lap, but then managed it brilliantly well. Max Verstappen got really close. I think he just pushed that too hard to get that close, and it was surprising how quickly from the next lap onwards it just dropped off. Being in the hot air, being close to Lewis Hamilton, just following, just couldn't do it. That led Oscar Piastri to close in on him. And then we got the battle with Piastri and Max Verstappen. Eventually, Piastri got past Max Verstappen, whose tyres were absolutely cooked. Lap 14, he came on the radio saying, these tyres are absolutely dead. Lap 15, Piastri made the move. It was a really good move, actually. Fair from Max Verstappen. He didn't really have much to hold and battle on for, and probably just thought, well, if I battle him and make my tyres worse, I'm losing the podium position in the end, because in the end George Russell did close on him despite him being in no man's land for a fair bit of the race, in a lonely 4th after he got a great start and held position, and then a late dive one on Charles Leclerc, got up to P4, and then held on to that really well. Charles Leclerc came back at him towards the end of the race, which was interesting. The Ferraris, they were really good on their tyres. I mean, we thought that would be the McLarens, but they struggled. We've seen what happened with Lando Norris. We've seen what happened with Piastri as well to some extent. Stuck behind Max Verstappen, and when we got past him, we thought, oh, can we see something here from the McLaren? Will they show what they've been so good at all season, or what they've been tipped to be so good at all season? The one race and tipped off over testing is how good they are on their tyres, and will we start to see him close on Lewis Hamilton? And it wasn't to be. Lewis was absolutely brilliant, managed that race fantastically well, managed the graining. The only bit of graining he had was on lap 8, and then from there on he was absolutely superb. Let's get straight to the 3 good and the 3 bad, and starting with Lewis Hamilton, because he just managed that race perfectly well. Got the great start, blocked the inside line, what you absolutely need to do against Max Verstappen. He did it, then got that 1 second gap to Max Verstappen early doors, held him off when the DRS came calling and the tyres were getting cooked on Lewis Hamilton. He was leading up front, so probably had the best conditions, no hot air blowing and no dirty air to sort of wear them tyres out, causing the car to slide and slip and slide a little bit when you are in that dirty air, which was what really made Max Verstappen behind him suffer, and thought, oh, Oscar Piastri's in his mirror. But there on from that 1 lap, he just sort of built on that, and then before you know it, it was 2.5, 3 seconds to Max Verstappen by the time Piastri got off. And when Piastri came on, he just seemed to just have managed the tyres well while Piastri and Verstappen were battling, and then just gave it a push, and then suddenly it was 6-7 seconds in the end, a win. Absolutely brilliant from him. Wins in his 2nd race for Ferrari in China, got the pole position, got the win, and that was crucial, because the one thing that you can take away from this sprint race is track position is king, and it'll be crucial, absolutely crucial. Will be qualifying next up, for them to basically get in a good position. You need to just hold on. The winner of qualifying really will, have all the cards in his pocket when it comes to race day, because you'll have more fuel. The tyre leg will be that much higher. The front left was going off after just a few laps. It'll be hotter in the race tomorrow, so even more potential management coming into play there, and even more crucially getting into that first place. The DRS was 75 metres long, and it was actually good to see, because you had to make that pass under braking, and that's what George Russell did on Charles Leclerc. with that late dive bomb. We've seen Liam Lawson do that as well on Bortoleto as well. He made up a couple of places, and that was crucial. And Lewis Hamilton, back to him, he was absolutely phenomenal. An absolute champion's drive. Just got to grips. He just looks so much more at home in this Ferrari now this weekend, doesn't he? A lot of rumours that Ferrari went the wrong way with setup, and that's why they look so bad. McLaren was also saying that they were surprised at probably more that how bad Ferrari were in Australia than how well they're doing here. So they aren't shocked by Ferrari's pace. And well, this is what we've been talking about. Lewis Hamilton in his second race does it, gets a Ferrari win, gets that chip off his back. He's going to have that spring in his step. He knows he can do it over one lap in qualifying. Next is the big one for the race where all the big points are on offer. And if he can pull off another similar what he did in sprint qualifying, he'll be absolutely buzzing and in the pound seat for the race. So all eyes jump to that now, but it was an absolutely brilliant drive from him. Second of the three good, Yuki Tsunoda with a P6, absolutely brilliant. Slap in the face to the Red Bulls, isn't it? Where he can say, look at me, this is what you missed out on. You got Liam Lawson in that seat, and look where he's finished, and look where I am. P6, held off the Mercedes, held off the McLaren of Lando Norris. A really, really good drive from him. And to Kimi Antonelli, no slaps. We've seen his overtaken what he can do in Australia, and Yuki managed that superbly well. Absolutely fantastic drive from him. Brought home some much needed points and a really kickstart to his season from here. Yuki doing Yuki things, puts his teammate in his place, and just says, look, I am the man, and he's absolutely the man, isn't he, so far this weekend. He'll just hope he can continue this form into qualifying and show what he can do in the race. Absolutely crucial from him. Third of the three good is Pierre Gasly, made up 5 places. This guy was in a scrap and a battle all race long, and to show the tyre management, he was just half a second again off the guy in front. I think it was Alex Albon. He nearly made it up into P11, so that would have been 6 places. So to have them scraps and manage the tyres as well as he did, an absolutely phenomenal drive from him under the conditions. He'll be just hoping that he can qualify further up and then, make his way into more points for the race. Onto the 3 bad, and it's going to start with, the main championship leader at the moment, the man that was, Norris 2.0 that we've all been hearing about. He's reverted to type, first of the 3 bad, and it just wasn't a good first lap, was it? That mistake really cost him, lost 3 places, got stuck behind Lance Stroll, who had set his car up for a low drag to be long and fast down them straights, and it paid off for him. For most of it, unfortunately, he just lost out to Norris in the end, but the damage was done for Norris. You thought it'd be all over him early doors and to try and get that pass in. It just wasn't to be early doors. He wasn't even in the DRS zone. Then dropped back to about 3 seconds, and then only really when the Aston Martin chewed its tyres did he have that chance and made the overtake. And then he was absolutely nowhere from there. He absolutely wore his tyres out. It was a real struggle from him, and he'll just hope that he can get qualifying right and the setup changes that they need to go in the right direction for qualifying and for the race. I think they still have the fastest car, McLaren. They just got it wrong in sprint qualifying and then really struggled with just being in the wrong position and track position being crucial, as it's shown with how badly it damages his tyres if he gets stuck in the dirty air here. So a really, really bad sprint race from him. Max Verstappen catches up and makes more points on him in the championship, and this is going to be the story of the championship throughout, isn't it? We've seen it already in 2 races. It's anybody's guess. We've seen McLaren dominate in Australia, and so far it's been Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton that have dominated so far with a sprint qualifying pole and a lights to flag victory for Lewis Hamilton. So anyone's game here, and Norris really needs to book this and just sort of cut out these errors and just make the best of a bad job. Just bring home solid points if it's going to be a bad race for you. That's all he's got to do, and he just really struggled to do that. Second of the 3 bad, I'm going for Jack Doohan, and he was on for sort of 17th place. It wasn't really, setting the world alight anyway when his teammates made up 5 places. He was not really going anywhere. And then he had that daft, silly lunge on Gavi Bortoleto right on the last lap when his tyres were worn. Cost Bortoleto. I will be shocked if he doesn't get a penalty for that in the end. And that might be a 3-place grid drop for him in the race, and where it's crucial, where you need to make up points. Just adds more pressure, makes it more difficult for him in the race. And when the pressure is on, it just really got worse with that move for him. And this is really what he doesn't need. Rumours are that he's just got 5 races in the Alpine to show what he's got. If not, man, we all know Franco Colapinto waiting in the wings, and I feel bad keep saying that almost every race weekend for him. But that's the tail of the tape for him, and he's just got to make the best of what he can do. He's, Pierre Gasly has shown what that car is potentially capable of. Jack Doohan came home in last in the end. He was better off just holding off and just following that car home. Worst case scenario, at least you finished, no damage, and then just build on your race weekend from there. And third of the 3 bad, I'm going for Ollie Berman. Lost 3 places, finished in P15 in the end. A bit harsh putting him in there, but it's a difficult one. He's qualified well, struggled in the Haas. But yeah, name me a worse one in the comments if you like. Here for your criticisms on that one. But yeah, it's a difficult one for Ollie Berman, but brought it home in P15. I suppose he beats his teammate, so I'm probably being a little bit harsh on him. And he has been in the Haas, who were the worst car by an absolute country mile, but just lost 3 places from where he started, and they'd probably just hoped that he just could hold on for a little bit better than he did in the end. Just held on. He had Ocon in his DRS and wasn't really close enough to Liam Lawson in the end. But there we have it. What a sprint race we had. Lewis Hamilton with a phenomenal drive, a spring in his step. Let's see what he can do for the qualifying and the race next up. It should be absolutely brilliant. A lot of work to do for a lot of teams now. Cars are out of park Ferme. Can they get the setup right? It's crucial now for the qualifying and the race. Can't wait for the action to get going. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, see you in the next one.